Hello, YouTube. It's me again, Lonnie Clark, Nuts for Art. Thanks for joining me. Tonight I'm going to read to you a story about Judge Janis Sammartino, who basically denied the soldiers on the USS Reagan a fair trial. Kind of an interesting story. And then when I'm done with this, as you know, I do these like Google Hangout things because it's probably the easiest way to upload my videos onto YouTube since it's changed and turned into a lot more controlling venue. I'm doing this reading for those people that are visually impaired or have a hard time reading, or would just prefer to have the articles read to them, and that's the point of this. And then when I'm done with this, I am going to do another live event. I am just chomping at the bits to share with you an email. I've been on this email chain all this afternoon between some activists, some really out there, like establishment activists, people who are like dedicating their lives to this, but it actually kind of highlights exactly why we're super screwed. So I'm going to get on with this, and I'm going to screen share this article. And let me see. Here we are. Putting on my double glasses now. There we go. And I want to thank everybody for joining me because you're sort of out there in the middle of like everything, right? And it's kind of interesting to be part of this like greater experience of the YouTube Never Never Land of all of us people who don't really know each other, but all have the same committed idea about we want to know this information. Regardless of whether we can do something about it, we feel inclined to want to know. And I want to thank you for your love and attention to all of these matters. So this was posted on, what's the name of this website? It is called here, courthousenews.com, right? This is the title. Judge, Sailor's Fukushima radiation case doesn't belong in the U.S. by Bianca Bruno, January 5th, 2018. San Diego, a federal judge on Friday dismissed without prejudice the latest class action filed by hundreds of U.S. sailors exposed to radiation in the Fukushima, Japan nuclear disaster, finding a San Diego courtroom isn't the right place for the case. Should we just start spitting nails right now at this lady? And as a matter of fact, here, I will do this. I'm going to go here. I actually just remembered it. nuclearnews.net, and let's just see what Sean dug up about this wicked woman. Where is it? Because he did an article about her. Wow, look at that. Unabated, Helen Caldecott, Fukushima nuclear meltdown. There's so much to report on this, you guys. Nuclearnews.net is a really great place to go, but I wonder, man, Sean's pretty prolific. As if they haven't been putting it into the sea. He did an article, Judge Napolitano, I guess it was last week. Let me see if I can find it. Oh my goodness gracious. Well, I'm going to get on with this, so hold on. Go to this website. I'm going to go here, previous entries, and I'm going to see if I can just screen for it. Let's see. Can we just look for stuff? I don't know, boss. Hang on. Oh my God, I did this awesome interview here with Christina McPherson, and you guys, she was one of the writers of this page, and she's pretty awesome. She lives in Australia, so it's kind of difficult for us to coordinate because she's like 18 hours ahead of me. But what Sean dug up was that this judge has a vested interest, financial interest in the nuclear industry. He did a whole thing about finding out who pays her. And she's very heavily invested in the nuclear information. So I guess I should have been more prepared, but I just remembered it actually. January 9th, it must be before then. So hang on. Let's see if I can't find it really quick right now, we'll just go back to the story. because that would be super awesome if I could find it. Disconnecting. Da 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 da. He gave a whole list of where she was connected to. I mean, honestly, if you guys aren't coming to this website on a regular basis, you're just not going to hear the information as much as you need to be hearing, because it is pretty. There's so much, and that's really what I want to do. I'm going to do a second thing so you can actually see the conversations that go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. So, bummer, dude. So I can't find it. I don't know where it's at. San Onofre 2050. That's in fact what this was about. The San Onofre 2050. First of the week. Bummer, dude. Well, anyways, let's get back to this guy. Okay. So this is kind of the cool thing about, doing these hangouts. I get to just talk to you about these news stories. A federal judge on Friday dismissed without prejudice the latest class action suit filed by hundreds of U.S. sailors exposed to radiation in Fukushima, Japan nuclear disaster, finding a San Diego courtroom isn't the right place for the case. U.S. District Judge Janis Sammartino issued a 15-page order dismissing the class action suit against Tokyo Electric Power and General Electric, finding the service members who were stationed aboard the USS Reagan in San Diego have failed to establish how the Japanese Utilities Acts were directed at California. F you, bitch. There is no targeting here. Plaintiffs allege that the effects of the TEPCO's conduct were felt by American citizens while on the U.S. ships, one of which was a home port in San Diego, are too attenuated to establish purposeful direction. Oh, man. Go check her out. You can actually find this out. She actually has a severe financial interest in all of these companies. Sammartino added that the sailors have provided no information to support the assertion that TEPCO knew its actions would cause harm likely to be suffered in California. In an email, class attorney Kate Edwards said, "We appreciate the time and attention that Judge Sammartino gave our arguments. Per her order, we intend to refile the case on behalf of the Bartels plaintiffs and continue to fight for the justice these sailors deserve. We will also be moving forward with the Cooper case in due course and looking forward to reaching the merits in that case." The judge's order dismisses the most recent class action filed in San Diego federal court last August. It also follows another class action filed by an initial group of sailors in 2012, a year after they were sent to render aid in the March 11, 2011 tsunami and earthquake, which caused the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear plant to melt down and release radiation. That case has survived dismissal and an appeal into the Ninth Court. More than 420 service members in the two cases seek compensation and medical monitoring, testing, and healthcare costs for exposure to radiation. That's it. They're not asking for to shut these companies down. Some sailors have died from the complications of radiation exposure since the cases were filed, and more than 20 are living with cancer, according to the lawsuits. In a court hearing Thursday, Sammartino considered the motions to dismiss from TEPCO and GE. They argued California courts have no jurisdiction over events in Japan. Sammartino also considered a common law motion from General Electric, which wants to apply Japanese law to the case or have it transferred to Japan. TEPCO operated the Fukushima nuclear plant and GE designed its reactors. TEPCO attorney Gregory Stone with Munger, Tolson, Olson in Los Angeles, the fucking evil bastards, said that at the Thursday hearings, all claims brought to the United States could be brought in Japan and that the statute of limitations has not run out there. Another evil individual, a GE attorney, Michael Sichel, I hope you burn in hell, with Arnold and Porter in New York, also said the case belongs in Japan, where the facts originated and where the witnesses are. Sichel said that the Japanese government declared the nuclear meltdown was not a natural disaster, so TEPCO could be held liable for damages. But former Senator John Edwards of the firm Edwards Kirby in North Carolina said it's important to look at the situation from altitude to see things from the sailors' perspectives. These are American soldiers, American employees serving their country who were sent on American ships in international waters at the request of the Japanese government, their ally, which owns the majority of stock in defendant TEPCO, Edwards said. Being on an American ship in international waters puts you on American soil. Edwards says that since the majority of the sailor plaintiffs were stationed in San Diego and GE designed the nuclear reactors at its San Jose headquarters, the case belongs in California. They want the case in Japan because they know it goes away. That's clearly their strategy, Edwards said. He added, this case screams federal jurisdiction. This case screams United States of America. The underlying concept of this whole thing is fundamental and basic notions of fairness being met. Edwards' co-counsel, Charles Bonner, with Bonner & Bonner of Sausalito, said if the case were transferred to Japan, where GE could be dismissed as a defendant, GE would continue building their defective reactors with impunity. Bonner added that California has a vested interest in applying its own laws, including strict liabilities for defective products and punitive damages to deter companies from selling defective products. He pointed out that 1/6 of the U.S. Navy based in San Diego, with 69 Navy ships in San Diego Harbor. Japan's Compensation Act has not been applied to their own citizens, only businesses. Why should we speculate their Compensation Act will help our soldiers? It will not, Bonner said. Stone countered that Bonner was simply wrong in claiming the Japanese Nuclear Damage Compensation Act had not benefited individual citizens. What bull. He said that it was the conduct of the defendants GE and TEPCO, which occurred in Japan, and not the plaintiff's place of residence that should determine the jurisdiction of the case. The sailors' attorneys indicated Thursday if Sammartino dismissed the class action, they would leave to amend their first case, Cooper versus TEPCO, to add additional plaintiffs who were dismissed from the second case, Bartell versus TEPCO. The defendants are expected to oppose the motion. Stone and Sichel did not immediately return phone calls or email requests for comments on Friday. This just makes me want to spit nails. I don't know about you guys, but that just infuriates me. These people are waiting for the soldiers to die. That's their whole MO. It's so completely unfair. And I wonder if I could find it. Maybe I'll do it in a second post. I'm going to maybe take a look for that article that Sean wrote on nuclearnews-net about the investment that this lady, Sammartino, has in these in TEPCO and in GE. She's heavily financially invested. Any wonder why she doesn't want the soldiers' case going on? This is what we're up against, folks. So I'm going to end here. I'm going to show you another video. I'm going to do another really quick video tonight. And it's really just a track of an email. But it will tell you why these are people who don't return my phone calls to be on my radio show. And this is why, because I just help them. I just talk about it like whatever. I'm not afraid of them. Like, they don't respect our work here on YouTube. They think that we're all just like nutters, and so whatever. I guess we're just assets on a balance sheet, man. That's really it. And it's going to be up to us to demand justice. So put your courage feet on, you guys. Take action. And, we need people to be calling their elected officials this week to oppose HR 3053, because that is coming up soon. And we need for it not to pass. That's that act that says they're going to privatize the nuclear waste. I know I did several things on this again already. So talk to you guys later. Ciao.